Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is outstanding. We had over 100 RSVPs, which is very unfamiliar territory for us, but we're so glad that you're here. Who's here for the first time? Oh my goodness. Awesome. Well, we hope that you come back. We have a lot of regulars that I've seen here too, so thank you so much. This has been great. How many people from GCU? Oh, look at this. So please, well, ASU, NAU,
U of A?
U of A?
Whatever.
Well, if you are, please pass the word on. We do this every month. This is a great networking event, and please have them get in touch with me. My name is Michael Mondragon. I'm the chapter lead of Type Thursday, and I will work with your university. I also teach at a university level, so I'm very familiar with this, and I know that they need networking opportunities. So, we are Type Thursday. We are a meeting place for people who love letter forms. We are actually a global network. We actually have all of these, but these are dormant. Only Los Angeles, which is actually going tonight as well, and Phoenix are the live chapters. So thank you for being here. We're less than a year, but this is amazing. I'm hoping that this is one of our big growth spurts. So this is Thomas Jockin. He runs Type Thursday, a very, very big supporter of typography, and he started this 10 years ago in Brooklyn, and a very little get-together, but it also turned into this. Thank you to Dialog. This is an amazing space. Please give Dialog a hand. This is outstanding. We love coming here, and also I think you love coming here too. We also have a creative partner, this Creative Mornings. Their next event is Friday, February 27th. And so please, that QR code, I went to the one this month. It was outstanding. It was a very, very good turnout. So please, Creative Mornings, Phoenix. We also have creative partners. Thank you to AIGA Arizona. They have been very, very good in promoting us. Theory 93, which is Mike's design company, Mondragon Studio, that's me. For those who don't know, there's a Creative Pro is doing a presentation design conference. Now, I thought that PowerPoint, I would not be into that. There's some pretty awesome things, especially if you're doing presentations. It's changed my presentation game as well. That goes on in February. There's also a Design and AI Summit. I will actually be doing that. It's actually online. It starts in April 9th and 10th. And then there's a part 2 in September, so definitely get on that. Also, Creative Pro Week is in Nashville, and actually I will be speaking at that as well, so that's a big deal. I'm very, very happy about that. So again, if you're in Nashville or know anybody that's going to be in Nashville at this time, please let them know. So we actually have some really big news. This is Martina Floor. She's from Berlin. She's a amazing typography designer, and we have partnered with her to give away some of her books. But I'm also here to tell you that starting next month, we're going to be starting an online book club. So we will definitely be giving you more information on that. If you'd like to be in on that, we will give you those details. But so we're giving away 2 books tonight, okay, at the end, and you have to be here. We also have some other books that I'm going to be giving away, so people are going to walk away with stuff. I don't have the books in hand, so I'll get your addresses, but please scan this to download. So Martina was actually at Adobe Max in Los Angeles, and we went on an LA letter walk, and it was amazing. I know her from other past Adobe Maxes. She is amazing. She's an amazing, not only mentor, but also teacher and all-around good person. So definitely get her books. Everybody good on the QR code? Yep. So I wanted to dedicate tonight's Type Thursday to this 95-year-old man who unfortunately passed away on January 5th. This is Glenn Guyette. I was born and raised here, so I've seen a lot of signs. I didn't know that this man designed them. And when you look at some of his portfolio, you probably recognize a lot if you've been here for a while. And like all of these, I remember from my youth. So they just did a article in the New Times, and yeah, this is right down the street in my floors. I remember that from a kid, the Contiki Hotel, Mr. Lucky's, which is, I don't know if the sign's still there, but and it's definitely, it is, that's awesome. I know that Mr. Lucky's isn't there anymore, is it? Right, it's gone.
It's fine.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, so, and again, it just, when it jogs my memory of like being young and just all these great like signs that used to be around, you know, this is my youth right here. This was, believe it or not, before I was born. Yeah, the 1900s is amazing. I definitely remember all of these, but this man designed all these, so I definitely want to give props to him and let everybody know, you know, the signs in the city. There it is. I mean, just so good. So I wanted to focus on this because he designed this. So in 1958, this was the first revolving sign that was on top of a building. And I want to show you something because this, you may have seen this before and not even known it. So if you give me just a second here. So this is pretty cool. So if you've seen the movie Psycho, there was a designer named Saul Bass. And Saul Bass designed this title treatment for the movie. But Glenn Guyette gets his cameo in here as well. And there it is. 1960. It's probably pretty close to where we are right now. I haven't figured that out. I'm trying to figure out like where they shot this from. But there you go. So, rest in power, Glenn Guyette. And there it is in all its glory. My name is Michael Mondragon. I'm the chapter lead of Type Thursday Phoenix. Mike Scott is the dialogue lead. Mernal Mahan could not be here tonight. And Phil Banwart, that's our photo lead. And we have an open editorially, so if you'd like to volunteer for us, we would love to have you. Please get in touch with me after the event. Zine, she's here, yes, thank you so much. Jack could not be here in KC. That's it, thank you so much for being a volunteer. All right, so we're always looking for volunteers. We're also looking for presenters. So again, you could be up here speaking, talking about typography, how you use it in your work. We would love to have you. Please get in touch with me. So this is how the TypeCrit format works. So we have about 10 to 15 minutes where our presenters speak. We also then have about 15 minutes of dialogue where we hand it to you and you get to give feedback, but also talk to the speakers. All right, so our first presenter is Mike Myers. Where's Mike here? Where are you? Mike, you're right in front of me. Let's do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Too many mics.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mics.
It's a lot of mics.
This mic,
Yeah, this
your
mic,
mic,
that mic.
I'm Mike.
Yeah, there's another mic out there somewhere. There's another
If your name's
name
Mike,
tag.
raise your hand.
You have another. There's another mic. I knew there was another one.
You have to leave now. 2 minutes. Cool. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Myers, and not the one you're thinking of, probably. But I'd just like to say thanks for having me. Thank you, Michael, for allowing me to speak a little bit about type and different projects and process. I put on here, welcome to my Therapy Thursday talk, because it's important to kind of get into a community and feel welcome. And I think as artists, it's really hard to have that opportunity. A lot of us feel alone. We're trying to do different things. We don't feel like we can speak out. But a little bit about me is I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I moved to Arizona about 20 years ago, and I've been in the creative field for over 10 years. Been doing graphic design, visual design, art direction, all fun things with typography. So tonight I'd like to talk a little bit about revising, or not revising, going back and checking out old work that still works and not feeling like you're doing 10,000 revisions, and just how your process can work into your favor and you don't feel that you're going, backwards. So one thing that I really like to do is get inspired by stuff, right? So one thing that I really found interesting was this Dockers campaign for Wear the Pants, right? What's interesting is how they utilized all the typography in it to make a nice silhouette. I'm very much into minimal art, and I just thought this was a brilliant way to utilize the system, keep it consistent, because oftentimes you'll work for places and you're gonna have to make more than one ad. I wish we could all just be able to do one thing and just do poster design. That's what I love, but unfortunately we've got to make it fit in 500 different frame sizes in every which way. So what's really beautiful about this is you can't really tell that multiple people worked on this. And that was always my goal. I didn't really understand that, one person's not doing all this work. So understanding how to be collaborative and work on a team, I think, is really important. So in order to get started and make some posters, I looked at this for inspiration. So now let's revisit some work and understand why Futura is a great system to use for your typeface. It's beautiful, designed by Paul Renner. It's great. Also pronounced Futura if you're German. I always felt weird learning it in school, and I was like, oh, I've been saying this wrong the whole time. They're like, no, it's Futura, it's Futura, it's fine. So that always made me feel a little bit better. I want to talk about what it solved as a system in the posters, and how I want to take it to the next level and things that you can do. So in order to start, you got to do sketches, right? So I'm a big fan of field notes. I made these pictures really small because I didn't want you to judge me on how many little books I hoard. But they're super helpful. I love them because you can keep them in your pocket. It's great. We all have ideas, and I think it's very important to write that stuff down. We live in a world now where you have a pocket computer and everything is accessible so much of the time. It's very hard to keep those thoughts going. I kind of use what I call like auto talk. It's just like free writing essentially, just because that helps just get those thoughts out of your head. And it's really important to have more ideas than those produced. Hence why there's a bunch of little tags in there, because you don't have enough time in the day to do everything you really want to do. Really like having more quantity over perfection. And I think a lot of us get stuck in the building and making, and we really judge ourselves too hard on sketches. And I just want to let you know, mine are really crude. There's times too where like my handwriting is disgusting. Even though I love typography and I really love clean design and clean things, I try to keep an organized workspace. I'm not an Einstein where everything's messy, although I like to think I'm as smart as Einstein. But let's look at some really tiny sketches. So what I have here is a bunch of movies. Like the process kind of came to me is I'm a big film buff. I really like film and movies. So I just kind of started thinking, what can I do? Who are characters I like? What are films I want to work on and make? So some of them are just like a simple, like I really like the Marvel movies and stuff. So I thought Sam Jackson, because he's in every movie for the past 40 years. So it's like you got like the little Avengers patch in there. And then you have like different things from Pulp Fiction. He's in Jurassic Park, so I thought like it might be fun to make the computer and go you know, just like little things that we can make, pull quotes. I'm very into that kind of stuff. So I just want to like show everyone to and encourage you to, you know, make roughs. Like this is part of the process. The stuff isn't going to look like how your brain is going to envision it, but it's important to get that out on the piece of paper first, right? So what it turned into was the poster stuff. So what we have here is making a system, really trying to focus on thirds of what I would do. And the reason this is a bigger set is, well, one, there was 10 million ideas going on at once. And I really wanted to show variety while still making it a complete system. So it really focuses on thirds, really has the utilization of Futura to make the system complete. I really wanted to bring bright, different contrast and color and really pull one memorable image from each film. So like from Drive, we have the scorpion on Ryan Gosling's jacket. The Matrix is the bunny, which I did have in some of those previous sketches that were, you know, it did not look like how it does, you know, once you create it digitally, right? And that's okay. Then we have some more films, Boogie Nights, where we have like the neon sign from Dirk Diggler. And what the theme with this too is I really wanted the artwork to look flat. Like, so how do you take, you know, I know there's 10 million tutorials and we all have YouTube and making neon look neon, but I wanted to make the neon look like neon with just using flat color. So big fan of Illustrator, I really encourage it. And then just taking one element from each one of these movies and making it simple. So going back on all these designs got me to think, okay, what can I do next? Like, do I want to make a series, and when does this feel kind of boring? Because you don't want to keep doing the same idea over and over and over again. So more thinking of how do they do typography in movies moving forward, right? You really want, it's like, people say don't judge a book by its cover, but that's kind of what we do, and that's kind of a job as a designer. You really want to evoke that emotion. How can we let the typography help and move that moving forward? So the next thing I thought was like new inspiration, and these are just some thoughts of just how the different films can work with typography, right? How do you evoke those emotions? So eventually, like the next thing I want to do is taking some of those old pieces, going through all these old sketches, picking a lot of those movies that I didn't create in the minimalist set, and maybe making smaller series of them, where you don't use the same font over and over, so it doesn't feel like it's cookie cutter or a template. Not saying that those things are bad, but I really want to encourage everyone to look back on your work and go, hey, this is okay, I can do new things moving forward. Some of these really show like the different visual contrast. Again, like the top right, the words, is similar to what even started this with the Dockers campaign. Like really focusing on type, and guess what? It's made out of words. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. So end result is just what can we do next? And really want to encourage you to go back, look at those old sketches. Don't beat yourself up about it, because that's how we evolve and get better. And if you don't look at some of your old work and feel a little disgusted, you might want to do something different, because that's how we know that we're growing. At the end, I just want to say, keep moving forward. Hopefully you got something out of this, and if you didn't, there are 2 other great speakers to come after that. Thank you.
Good? Okay. All right. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
that was great. I'm a huge, how do you say, Futura.
Played it a lot.
Yeah,
Played it a lot.
Okay. So if you guys have not been to one of these before, the way this kind of works is we really want you guys to interact and ask a bunch of questions. So as Mike Myers was talking about everything, if something popped into your brain, just let it loose. Just raise your hand. I'll come over with the mic, and you can just ask that question. I really encourage, especially if you're a college student, this is your time to really interact with the professional designer who's been doing this for a long time at a high level. So, do we have a first question? Sorry, it wasn't close enough to my face. No questions yet. Okay. So, we got one. Sweet.
Hi.
I was just wondering, are you working on anything now that your past work has influenced, or is there anything like recently that you can think of where your past work is?
Yeah, after digging through the garage to find those sketches, I have a lot of other fun ideas. One thing that I really, kind of a 2-part answer, is I have a lot of old stuff that my mom wrote, so I really want to kind of create a font out of that. And that is a whole other world of trying to do that, right? But she used to leave me quote books, so I'm trying to take some of those quotes, and now like Instagram is a really good use of it. It's just, for me, I don't always love being this vulnerable or like putting all of that out there, because you just feel like, oh, it's like getting judged. But you know, that's kind of what I want to focus on next, is really pulling some of those out and focusing on the typography stuff and getting back into drawing. I finally broke the iPad out after hearing Eric speak, which was a great time. Realized that the Apple Pencil was broken, so I had to get a new one of those. Just fun. You got to keep it on the charger, apparently, the old ones. So I really want to work on like old type projects and bringing all that stuff back to life, the stuff that I don't get paid to do.
That's cool, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Who's next? Come on, college students.
You said you love movies. Just curious, are you on Letterboxd, and what are your top 4? So.
Oh, I am not on Letterboxd, but top 4 movies? Oh, I don't even know what I would pick. Honestly, let's go like, I love comedy, so I'll just go Anchorman, because I also love 90-minute movies, by the way. That's a crisp, I think, 89. Good beginning, middle, end. Also, I was really like, one of those like English nerds in high school, and like learning you have to have this and a conclusion. And then I think you probably saw some of them, like Matrix, Terminator. I might even go Terminator 2. I think it's one of the rare sequels that was better than the first one. Judge me, don't judge me. And then recently, I don't know, I really like Christopher Nolan movies, like pretty much anyone. Yes.
Right. So you showed us those initial designs with the very like firmly sticking to the minimalism and the rule of thirds layout.
Yep.
And then you showed us your new inspiration.
Yes.
What influence are you going to take from that inspiration to bring over? Is that in like the breaking that rule of thirds system?
Yes, definitely. I want to feel like so much of my career has been having to stick to a system, and I think I got. Sometimes you feel like you got the blinders on, where they're like, "Oh, you're really good at making stuff that's going to be a campaign throughout the year." and it's just like very strict. If you haven't read this book, College Students Making and Breaking the Grid, it's a great one because you got to learn why the grid works and then why you can break it. So I want to explore some of that and not make it feel like they're all so stuck one-dimensionally. And again, not saying that they're bad, right? Like I'm very happy with how the stuff came out, but maybe slimming it down and doing like 3 to a set and picking 2 or 3 fonts that really work with, you know, whether it's a horror genre or if it's comedy, and just kind of sticking to that. And then how can I expand on that of all the new tools we have and all the new knowledge? Because we did not have like, you know, there was no Typewolf, there's so many honestly really good Adobe fonts and Google fonts that are out there now. It's amazing, you know, but I still go to the library. But
I saw you had the different colored tabs within your boxes of stuff. I was wondering if you had a specific organization system to kind of keep track of like the different projects you're working on in your books or anything.
Whew, great question. It started out that way. I used to number like the tab corner, like in the very bottom, and then Aaron Draplin came out with so many different ones that you can't necessarily like write on the front of it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try and stick to the numbers. And out of so many of them, even though they have a start date, end date, I was not as organized as I would like to have been. And then once I got past 100, I kind of stopped counting and just tried to pay more attention to the year. So I do have them. It looked like very unorganized chaos in that image, but I do have them roughly by year. And then some stuff overlapped, and some of the stuff you use for work, but the way my brain is, I just kind of put everything in one. I stopped trying to separate it because then I'm not carrying the work notebook to work. I'm just like, no, I'm one thought at a time. Thanks for your question.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Thank you. So many of you guys.
It's a big group.
It is. We appreciate it.
You mentioned you were in the creative field for about 10 years, right?
Yes.
Do you work by contract or?
I've done everything. Freelance, contract, in-house, small agency, bigger agency. I did not last too long at the bigger agency, if we're being honest. And that's okay. You just like finding stuff that you like. In certain situations, it just, you know, some of those things feel like they're dangling a carrot in front of you and you're competing not in a good way, you're competing rather than collaborating. So what I found that more of my strengths was smaller in-house places, because then you get to really, you know, you hone in. Like my sweet spot was when there was like, you know, anywhere from 3 to 8 designers was like a really fun space for me, because we all have different various levels of experience. And then, you know, I encourage you, if you're in any of those places, ask questions, show your work, show how you did that in InDesign, show the shortcuts. I mean, you'll just watch someone and see how fast they are on a keyboard, and somebody's like, oh my God, how'd you do that? You know, just collapsing the box was something that was a game changer for me. But yeah, do you have a particular thing? Are you trying to do more freelance, or was it just like you're just interested where I worked?
I was just interested. I
Okay.
work in marketing.
Okay, yeah. No, we all do. Don't worry.
All right, we got one more way back in the back. Do you want to come up here so we can hear you?
A limited microphone.
I only got so much wire. Do you mind passing this? Oh, sorry. Do you mind passing this over? Okay, got it? Yeah, I got you.
For out of the ones that you listed, which would you say is the best for like college students to start with, like after like just graduating or just
Job-wise stuff?
Yeah.
Anyone you can get right away.
Good answer.
Sure.
I would reach out to people that you find interesting. Doesn't matter if a job is posted or not, honestly. Go find their HR department. If you like, this is great, this here, because the more people you know, the easier it is to get a job. You're not fighting AI, you're not fighting stuff, crapping on your resume. You can get real voices here, and oh, I know someone, and just a nice situation or a nice chat we have, I go, oh, I'll think of, what's your name?
Michaela.
I'll be, oh, Michaela, she was very nice and asked a genuine question, and like maybe we can interview her or bring her in, and maybe there's even if it's an intern opportunity. But if you do intern, make them pay you. Do not do it for free, even if it's waitress money. Come on, we're over that, okay? I did that too many times. But yeah, I would start with that. Thank you.
Basically, it's not about what you know, it's what you know.
Yeah. But don't be discouraged, like putting yourself out there. You know, if it's not like, I only want to work for Nike. You know, try it.
All right, we could give Michael Myers a hand, please. Good job.
Thank you so much.
Michael, do we have time for announcement real quick? Yeah, go for it. Okay, go for it.
Hi, so all of you who are college students, if you guys want to talk about future positions, my company is actually looking for people who are in going into user research, and they specifically asked me, since I am coming to this event, to give you their contact information. So please come and see me, because we need a lot of people for a new study that I need, so you're welcome.
Yes.
His name is Jake, by the way.
Awesome. Our next presenter is a Phoenix-based illustrator, animator, Mr. Jeff Kane. Just a second.
I love that.
Thank you. Got this. Okay. Howdy, hello friends. Thank you for being here. My name is Jeff. I am online, social media, jeffkane.com. Tell all your friends. Letterboxd. I am on LinkedIn. Is anyone hiring right now? Okay, so this was the topic that I wanted to talk about. A bit more emotional, existential, less technical stuff. But yeah, Michael asked me if I was interested in presenting. He said I could do whatever I want. This is kind of the thing that's kind of on my mind most of the time. Why make art with everything going on right now? So let's get a little bit more specific. What do we mean by everything going on right now? Obviously, so many things to be stressed out about. Environmental destruction almost feels quaint to still care about climate change, but it's still a thing. AI takeover. This one's controversial. I know lots of different thoughts and opinions about what AI means for the future of our industry, whether it's a tool, whether it's going to make us all obsolete. It's hard for me not to despair about it. Also, this is, of course, tied to environmental destruction, unfortunately, and of course, most notably in very recent times, violence in the streets that we're all watching all over the news right now, among other things. So this meme, I'm sure all of us have seen, making the rounds year after year. That shows me that perhaps I'm not the first person to have this thought of why even do this? What is the point of making art when there's so many real world problems happening in the world? Some people might be quick to say, now is when we need artists. The light shines brightest in the darkness now more than ever. This is a sentiment that sometimes is convincing to me, other times feels like kind of an empty platitude. So I thought, let's try to discuss it a little bit further. Okay, so a little bit more about me. I used to work at a megachurch. I tell people it's not as boring as it sounds. It was a cool opportunity for me, a great place for me to learn the actual trade, learn how to use Adobe software and export files and do all of those day-to-day working things. And at the time, I was super Christian, and I thought that this was a way that I'm using creativity for good in the world. Years later, lost my faith, kind of a long story, but to commemorate the mixed feelings that I was having about my transition in worldview, I made a t-shirt about it, and also started a podcast. Another big milestone tragedy in my life, when I got divorced a couple years ago, I decided to get rid of all my stuff, move into a minivan, and I made stickers that I could give out to other van lifers. So I guess this is kind of a natural response that I will have, is I will use creativity as kind of an outlet to process emotional moments in my own life. I started drawing a nose every day as a practice. It's kind of a parody of Inktober. I did Nose-tober, and it was going to be just for a month, but I kind of have kept it up for a couple of years now. I'm just trying to fill sketchbooks with these nose, eyes, and ears drawings. Clearly very healthy behavior. I quit trying for a while after a year or so of van life, not really feeling motivated to pursue the freelance work that I used to do regularly. I thought, hey, why don't I just try seasonal work for a while? So this is me in Yellowstone National Park, doing seasonal work, working in the kitchen, doing dishes in the back, 8 hours a day doing dishes, gave me a lot of time to think about, I don't know what the meaning is, what the purpose, what I want to do with my life. The good news with that was I got to do a lot of reading. I listened to audiobooks while I was back there. I don't know if you're familiar with The Myth of Sisyphus, Albert Camus. It's a book I tried to read years earlier, couldn't really get into it. This time when I was doing loads of dishes over and over again, it sort of made more sense to me, kind of this philosophical reflection on the meaninglessness of doing these repetitive tasks over and over again and getting nowhere. Snuck in some creativity as well, just drawing more noses on coffee cups in between loads of dishes. For those of you not familiar with the book, it ends with the quote, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy." Once again, this idea that, I don't know, I go back and forth. Some days I feel like this is a profound answer to the problem of existence. Sometimes it feels like yet another sort of empty platitude. So here's some more recent graphics I've made that are sort of all just about my kind of philosophizing and theories about, can we find meaning in a meaningless world? Draw your feelings is kind of a mantra that I find a lot of meaning in. Of course, over the years I've made lots of graphics about climate change, environmental causes, things like that. You can see we're making some progress there, right? I've also tried making lots of graphics about hope, love, positivity, that sort of thing. Perhaps most interestingly, or most recently, I've been doing this project with my lovely girlfriend Eileen, who's here. The two of us are doing the photo booth. You may have seen us at downtown Phoenix Farmers Market, various other markets, where we do hand-drawn portraits of people in this little human-run machine. It's powered by HI, human intelligence. So that's been a fun and sort of creative way to sort of combat stay relevant against AI, and the way that AI can just create digital illustrations much faster and cheaper than I ever could, but at least they don't quite have the dexterity and the robotic fingers yet to draw someone's picture on a piece of paper. Not yet. Okay, something else about me. I'm from Minnesota originally. I don't know if anyone's been watching the news recently, but I felt a lot of hometown pride and a lot of just emotions around the ice raids that are happening in Minneapolis right now. So of course I've responded by making a lot of graphics about addressing the anti-ice sentiments. And yeah, this also seems like possibly another way that we can find meaning in this common enemy, right? Like and I'm not sure how everyone feels about it here, but I'm guessing based on most of the creative people I follow on social media, most people are pouring all of their creative energy into speaking out against the violence in the streets that we're seeing in Minneapolis and elsewhere. Yes, that's something that's worth celebrating, and again, possibly can find some meaning in all of that. What gives me pause is this quote by the author Kurt Vonnegut talking about the Vietnam War. He said in his day, every respectable artist in this country was against the war. It was like a laser beam. We were all aimed in the same direction. The power of this weapon turns out to be that of a custard pie dropped from a stepladder 6 feet high. So I wonder if all of the anti-ICE posters, graphics, content that we're seeing out there, if it's going to, in the long run, make a meaningful difference. I hope it is, but part of me wonders, are we just making a literal difference metaphorically? All right, I will close with another quote by Kurt Vonnegut that has helped me find some meaning and encouraged me to keep going with creative pursuits. Go into the arts. I'm not kidding. The arts are not a way to make a living. They're a very human way of making life more bearable. Practicing art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow. For heaven's sake, sing in the shower, dance on the radio, tell stories, write a poem to a friend, even a lousy poem. Do it as well as you possibly can. You will get an enormous reward. You will have created something. And so that's the little beacon of hope that I cling to when I think about the fact that maybe the artwork that we make might not be actually making any substantial political waves in the real world. Maybe just practicing art for its own sake is enough. Again, some days I find that meaningful and satisfying. Sometimes it feels to me like, I don't know, it's sort of just virtue signaling, self-aggrandizing, being out of touch with the real problems in the real world. So that's something I love about Type Thursday is the way it has this kind of open discussion format. So that's if you guys have questions for me, of course that's fine too, but I would love to hear if anyone else has ideas or practices or things that they do in their personal creative pursuits to feel like there's a reason to keep going. All right, thank you.
Well, before I get into that, I just want to tell you, Jeff, your art is very unique and powerful. And I think one of the big things that artists bring is we record truth. And so when we look back over time, we can see truth created by artists like yourself. So
thank you.
You're doing good work.
Thank you.
All right, who wants to interact with amazing Jeff over here?
So I noticed an irony in a lot of your stickers, right? That say something, sad or serious or whatever, but it's paired with very colorful, very poppy artwork, which I have to imagine ties into your optimistic nihilism. But I guess what I kind of also want to know is has that been a processing method for you? Has it been a coping mechanism? And if it has it been a successful one?
You tell me. I'm definitely a big fan of humor, a big fan of colorful, beautiful cartoons. Your question reminded me of an interview with Pendleton Ward, Creative Adventure Time. I think he had this quote where he said his favorite emotion is feeling happy and sad at the same time. I resonated with that.
Okay, I see one way back there. Come up here.
I forgot my question. Give me a moment. No, I got this.
We got artist brain.
Yes. So you just, things randomly pop into your mind, you just grab it and just put it on paper, that's how that works? Because I love the drawings, they're not random, but they're amazing.
Oh, are you talking about like the nose drawings in my sketchbook, or more the digital finished ones, or I guess? Yeah, I guess.
Like you have like you
Yeah.
have like a whole collage. It's like the canvas needs to be filled before being satisfied.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Let's see, do the ideas just pop into my head? I guess, yeah, maybe they sort of do in the sense of like the sketchbook, like with the nose drawings I was showing, that to me was sort of like, my version's kind of doing morning pages or something like that, where I try to just do free association, like just fill the whole page of the sketchbook, you know, you're not done until the page is filled, and it's mostly just random doodles, and often it's kind of the same characters over and over again. And some of those do get repurposed, where it's like if there's one particular drawing I really like, I'll take a picture of it, scan it in, digitize it, that sort of thing. In terms of like graphics that end up as like T-shirts or stickers or things that I want to like make a little bit more permanent, they usually don't just pop in my head randomly. It's usually like an idea, like a phrase that maybe I get from a book or a podcast or something that comes up in a conversation, and I think like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Like the optimistic nihilism, I guess, is an example of. I heard someone just mention that on a podcast about optimistic nihilism. Like I immediately understand like what that philosophy would mean and like resonate with it. So that's cool.
Same here.
Cool.
It seems like literature kind of plays a huge role in like your creative design and your process through that. How much would you say that influences you, and if you weren't able to use that into design, where would you like look in other avenues for that?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I feel like books are exciting to me. Sometimes I feel like I like the idea of books more than I actually like reading them, because I collect books so much faster than I actually read them. But they are cool. Like it's a lot of work, you know. Like now more with the distractions of the modern day, it's hard work to sit down and read a book for sure. But it's worth it. And then, sorry, your question is, what would I do if I?
Yeah, without literature, where would you kind of look for other inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, like movies, cartoons. I mean, social media, other like people putting art into the world. I guess, you know, there's other outlets besides books, but yeah, those are ones where I guess maybe it's like I like the idea of like trying to visualize an idea, like take an idea that's just only exists in words and make some kind of graphic that represents it, you know, as opposed to like a movie or a piece of visual art where the visual already exists.
All right, right back here. You gotta come up here.
Sorry, just to add to that answer, music is another one. Like sometimes like song lyrics or something like that, and like making a visual for it. Another good one.
Do you ever get inspired by using public domain, and are there any issues that come about that?
Yes. A couple years ago, if you guys remember Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat Willie, the original Mickey Mouse cartoon, went into the public domain. So just as an experiment, I tried to like make a T-shirt with Mickey Mouse on it and sell it on TeePublic, and I got taken down by the Walt Disney Company, and I made a video about that, and people were correcting me, saying like I was using the modern Mickey Mouse, not the like black and white Steamboat Willie version, so I had to change it, and then yeah, that sure did really well because I got a lot of engagement from all the people that explained to me why I made it wrong. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jake. I'm gonna introduce myself this time. What inspired the nose thing? I know you said you had like an October thing, and me as a person who I overanalyze things, I have a bit of synesthesia whenever I design. Is there anything that inspired, like, is there a song that you listen to, you're like, noses, I'm just gonna draw this whole month?
Yeah, like I said, it started as, because I used to like try to do Inktober every October, and most of the time they didn't make it through, or I wasn't happy enough with the drawing, so I didn't want to post it on Instagram, that sort of thing. So yeah, this was my post-divorce, newly living in a van year, and I thought I'm just gonna make it really easy on myself. I'm gonna do Nose-tober, where I just draw a nose every day, and it's just for me. I'm not gonna post it on social media or anything, and just as a practice to like make myself draw every day, and I just chose the nose as like something silly and like meaningless, so that it'd be like just feel like it's like fun, but there's no pressure. That was the original idea, you know. In retrospect, you know, sometimes you can come up with post hoc rationalization, like meaning that comes later. And I can say like, oh, the meaning of life is to really smell and like really take it in and like be in the moment, that kind of thing. So if you're looking for more justification, you can always find it afterwards.
Awesome, thank you.
Hello, my question is about motion design because I'm new to it. So I just want to know, like, what do you use to animate the text?
Oh yeah, so like both of these drawings here are they're done directly in Procreate. If you have that on the iPad drawing program, Procreate Dreams is like the more advanced animation, but this is just regular Procreate. You can do the animation assist, so that's really great for really simple, just squiggle vision type animation where you just draw the same thing, just trace over it 3 times and just turn on the animation. That's what I did for that. For more complex animation stuff, I use Adobe After Effects.
Okay, one more.
Hi. So your lettering style in a lot of your designs is very like graphical and fluid and dynamic, and then I was just wondering how you developed that, because obviously like a lot of it is like just hand drawn, and I was wondering like what inspired or like where you get your inspirations from, or how you develop your typographic designs in a lot of your works.
Yeah, thank you. I guess it depends on, let me just scroll back to an example page here. So I guess, yeah, here you can see like, some of it is just completely hand-drawn, like worm food, only sad sometimes, too much confusion. It's literally just writing it out. With only sad sometimes, too much confusion, just like writing it in my sketchbook and just vectorizing it. Worm food is a little bit more like drawing letters with characters. And then you can see the Draw Your Feelings, existential little sad sack are much more just straightforward, just type and then moving it around a little bit. Optimistic nihilism, a little bit more complex with same thing. I'm just typing it out and then moving the letters around a little bit to have some kind of thematic resonance or make it seem like I actually designed it. I didn't just type it out in Helvetica.
All right, Jeff. If we can give it up for Jeff Kane. Awesome. Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
All right.
There's a more comfortable chair.
So our next designer is a creative director, illustrator, amazing, John Arvizu. Please.
Can I take your photo? Is that all right?
Cheese.
Okay. No, I don't know. I can be loud too. Can you hear me okay? If I talk like this?
Like there's people in the back that probably
Okay.
I have to talk like Roman Mars if I use this. All right, I'll try and find a good distance. Okay. Hey, could we give another round of applause to Mike and to Jeff? Those look great. That's better. Okay, so I'm Johnny Arvizu. I've been doing art direction, illustration design for about 25 years. Even before that, when I was a little kid, I was doing all kinds of stuff. This is my grounding, these are my grounding images. This is my cat, this is Schmoopy. She kind of keeps me in check. I've had, you know what, Mike was saying he doesn't talk very much about like emotive or catharsis or processing, but I'm a raw nerve. And so a lot of the work that I do is very personal. I bring a lot of that work into the passion that I bring for design in itself. And I don't want to do a portfolio dump on you, because there's a lot of stuff that I work on that I'm excited about. But I want to share with you like 2 projects that I've worked on in the past couple years that one of them came to fruition, this first one did not, but they both operate and function in the same way, and they are somewhat cathartic for me. These are not projects I got, that I'm doing for someone else. They are personal explorations, and I use the skills that I have here and the experience that I have as a designer. Typography is very important to me. Typography as an image, as not only a way to communicate, but to express yourself. So this is me as a kid, hawking pickles and bologna at the Oscar Mayer stand in the Midwest. That's a tight logo, Oscar Mayer. We got to give them some credit. And then they even spelled my name wrong on this cake. And look at Raggedy Andy. It looks like it's bleeding from the eyes. So that's me when I was 6, 5 and 6, yeah, in the early 80s. And then this is like my greatest day ever. Everything is downhill from here. I got to meet Mr. T and Donny Osmond and Crystal Gale. So that was a pretty awesome day. I like skiing, I like screen printing, I like making art. So here's me doing those things. And so let's get down to business. So the first project I'm going to show you is I wanted to do almost like not illuminated manuscript, but like illustrated lettering. So I was looking at this flat stock stuff from like 1900, this like Vienna movement, and they had a lot of this stuff where it's flat graphic, limited color, and they did alphabets, and I thought, man, that's a cool idea. So I use a system in this. It's design oriented. I want to communicate, and I want it to be understood as a system that functions together, but I can vary within that framework that I've set up. So systems hold me steady. So I started with the lettering. It's all just custom. I'm drawing these things out roughly the same size with roughly the same stuff on them, serifs and whatnot, but trying to mix it up a little bit. And then from there, I vectorize everything. This is just in Procreate. And then I lock everything up. And it helps me okay, I can use my Illustrator skills to tighten things, take it to the next stage. I don't have to be so focused on getting everything right at any point. All right, that's enough of that. So the second half of that alphabet, and then I'm layering on there, what are these animals? I wanted to do Arizona animals for each letter of the alphabet, which is surprisingly difficult in the U and the X and the Z. So that was a challenge. But I draw everything out in Procreate. I have this vintage style that I like. Think like line art from Popular Mechanics and stuff, but this is more like an engraving, kind of bent on it, that 2-color thing. And so I'm just gonna go through the alphabet set because I was kind of in a bad place a couple years ago, and I was needing an outlet, and I needed to just churn on something. I produce a lot of stuff all the time. I've been independent for a long time. Don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. And then this was like, okay, well, I'm done with my work today. I'm gonna sit down and watch TV, and I'm gonna draw something. I don't have a client, I am the client here, which makes everything that much better. So I started with, you can see the lockup here, everything's framed in, but I do the illustrations separately, and then I layer them in and I make them kind of fit together. So within the set, the Arizona Sister is the only one that has blue in the illustration itself, and that's because the butterfly has this intense blue color in those areas. But it still works. You can't tell the difference between some of these. I'm kind of playing with the composition, like how's it moving in and around the type, or whether it's just offsetting and crossing through. And then I'm doing this in a minimal enough way to like, I'm trying to be effective, I'm trying to be efficient. I have something that's already kind of fun detailed. I don't want to overpower it with a more detailed, more colorful background. All these illustrations have hearts in them. Like I said, it's going back like maybe 5, 6 years, maybe 7 years. I put little hearts and everything, just because it's like I need to leave something in this work that like says I was there, you know, it mattered to me. This is all time. This is time of my life. That's just, this is the clock ticking, and I'm gonna do some things with it that, God damn it, I'm excited about. So they're not all as effective, like compositionally, but they all work, for me anyway. This is one of my favorites, the Gila monster here, because he breaks up that shape and it works with the shape. Like, they both could work independently, but I feel like the flow's there on that one. And some more a little like less exciting, but you know what? They all got done. That's the important part. The Kingfisher I really like. I like that one. And then another good one here. The owl and the saguaro. Fits so nicely. His little tufts are coming out. And I didn't go with javelina because I needed a pee. So that's a peccary. The quail I drew like a long time ago, and oh, it knocked out. I had something else there that he's standing on, but you can see his little crown and his tail work with that cue. It just works nicely with the letter. I didn't intend these things. I just allowed the opportunity to present itself, and then I made use of it. Because you can't plan for everything. Sometimes you just gotta feel it. You just gotta go for it, you know what I mean? Make it happen. So, yeah, so let me see, can I go back? Okay. So I did a couple alternates. I put this project down in 2024 because like shit hit the fan for me personally, and I just didn't even like, I'm like, I don't care now. You know, because this is a break-even project for me if, you know, if all goes well. Because I wanted to make a book, and I thought it would be cool just to do this like art book. But, you know, realistically, when I do the math, I'm like, no, don't think about the math, just keep doing it. So I did some alternates. I did the Roadrunner, but I like the Raven, so I did a Raven, and he completes that R. The Scorpion's not as successful. I would have wrapped that one, but whatever, next time, later. And then I didn't like the Uinta. Uinta, it's the mountain range, but I did an upland sandpiper, which I thought was fun. And I actually just did that one this week. So that's the first time I've added one to it in quite a while. But it's like, these are all just like iterations, you know? Oh, and then this is so I did the initial illustration in a couple layers in Procreate. I export those and I vectorize them, and then I bring them into Illustrator and I do this. This is just free form. I don't really have a plan. Just thinking, well, maybe we can see those waves or something. You see me messing with the type. It's an experiment. How does it fit? Where does it fit? How do I nuance these things together in a way that like feeds that whole system? You saw the heart of the Here's the last couple. That's a night lizard with Zentus here. And then, oh, you know what? I did do this yucca moth one last week too. Because I had one that was heavier. It was a bat. It's called a Yuma myotis, and I just hated that. It's a bat. So I thought the yucca moth was more appropriate. And see how much open space is there? But I'm kind of fine with it. It still works. It still has this balance to it that I like. And I don't care what you think. And then I did a book cover, I did a poster, but do you see the harmony there? The color, the weight of things, so my drawings all have a similar weight to them. I'm trying to be efficient. Oh, not all those fonts are the same, but who gives a shit? Just put fonts on there that you like. Dude, have fun with it. All right. So we're gonna kill the system now, and we're gonna talk more about expression. This other project that I worked on did come to fruition. I did a project for the Chandler Art Museum a couple years ago where I did an installation, mural installation on doors to their gallery. So 6 panels, and then they enjoyed it so much that they asked me to keep it up for like another year. And then after that, they asked me, hey, would you be interested in doing an installation? And I was like, yes, please. So when I asked them, well, what do you want? Like, what will people buy? And they said, no, it's not about that. It's not about selling things or like pandering to an audience or creating artwork for someone. Just make the art for yourself. And it took me a while to kind of like really take that in and think about what do I want to say? What am I working on in my own life that I can turn into something? And so when I talk about expression helps me break free. I don't have rules. There is no purpose other than the meaning that I give to something. And that's enough. Sometimes that's enough. And I think what Jeff touched on about what's happening in the world, a lot of people express outwardly, and I take everything in and I internalize everything. And so for me to be able to like put out there, express the vulnerability that I feel, the helplessness that I feel, and turn my energy toward how do I feel about it? How can I feel about it? How can I move forward in a way that's authentic to myself and not let all this shit get to me? I have a job to do. It might not be, I might not be a heart surgeon, but I'm putting things out into the world that I'm proud of. I'm putting things out into the world the way that I want to see it, the way that I want to interact with it. And I don't think that's naive. I think it's authentic. And so I'd encourage everyone here, just be authentic to yourself. You don't have to do what Jeff's doing. You don't have to do anything other than what feels right for you. And that's important. You're not missing out on anything because you're not being as active as someone else, or you're not, showing up in a way that doesn't feel right for you. These are extensions of, hey, I'm feeling this, and I don't really want anyone else to even read this. I just need to get it out there. And these feelings are layered, and they are nuanced. And so I was writing these messages. I was writing them in my Resketch sketchbook. Corey's gone. Resketch by Resketch. I was doing them in Procreate. Figured out the brushes in there. I got COVID. Man, I figured out Procreate. And it led me to this exhibition about me, about my experience, about growing up in the Midwest and hawking Oscar Mayer bologna. And that felt authentic, and I didn't have to prove anything to anyone else. And so here's the installed show. Those were screen prints and a mural that I painted. And then I did 4 original pieces that were kind of my process of transformation over the last couple of years. From like having awareness to really acceptance. And so this is the mural that I designed for the Chandler Museum. And again, systems. I know where those windows are. I know where that type has to sit. I need to make it happen. That's a huge pain in my ass, but I can do this. So that's how they ended up in the windows. And you can read Chandler. So here's a little bit of process. Am I going long? All right, I'm just gonna go long. Sorry. So here's some of this freeform work like you saw earlier, but for this piece, I do texturizing. I do like this, I love these grit textures. Everything's flat. I like vector. I don't want to mess around with gradients. I don't like postscript errors. All this flat artwork works. I could even screen print it if I wanted to print like 10 colors, but I don't. But you saw in there, I'm layering in that expressive typography from earlier. You see it there? Nobody's going to read this in the finished piece. You're going to get bits and pieces of it. I don't give a shit. The point is that you look closer at something. That's the art part of it. It doesn't have to solve a problem. It's not a design challenge. It's a personal expression of where I was, what I was experiencing, and that it meant something to me. And you see those hearts in there too, lots of hearts. So this is the astronaut piece, and there's a lot of stuff in here too. It's in a system and it is an expression. And these are the two aspects of love. What is my motivation? Am I motivated by guilt? Am I motivated by love? There's two ways to do the same thing, but which one is more honest? Which one feeds you and which one destroys you? And I use things, props that I like from a kid, boom boxes, Evel Knievel radios. And then out of that too was, hey, I have all these things I'm writing down. I'm hearing these things. I'm talking with friends. I'm processing stuff. This makes sense to me. What do I need to tell myself to keep myself going today and not hide under the covers with the cat? So I started doing these little type expressions, and I talked to Chris Carls, and he's like, hey, you know what you should do? You know, transform with a bunch of instances, just offset, and oh, look at that. You can set this type, mess around with it. It looks cool, it's bright, it's bold. This is another piece. Again, you take away from it what you want, but it's very intentional what I'm doing here. And it's mine. I do like dual meaning in things. What is my value? What is my value in design? What are my values? What do I want to promote? Who am I? I know where my values lie. And there's those pieces installed. And then this. I'm saying the same thing. I persist. This one is very much about self-love and forgiveness. And again, those things are functioning as a system and as expression at the same time. Because I love those details. The boom boxes, these are boom boxes from the 80s that were of importance. And when I was a kid, man, I wanted this crown badly. I got a cheap, crappy one. I got one, it wasn't this one. My friend has a collection, and so I went and took a bunch of photographs, and I wanted all those details to be right. And again, I'm layering in this typography here, this expressive typography. Don't pin me down. Don't put me up in a way that I don't align with. Don't make assumptions. And this is a carryover from Design Week, and this is always the case. This is always the case. You're not just here to do stuff. You're here to make a life for yourself. You're here to say something about the world and your experience. This was my most difficult one, but I broke it up. But there's a lot of messaging in here. I was in a bad place. You can see my color scheme here. This is John in a bad place. But look, they made it into this piece too. Because I don't give a shit. I want to put all kinds of fun things in there, and I do lots of illustration work that doesn't have a purpose, doesn't go anywhere, and I throw that into the John's clip art folder, maybe for later. And you can see that typography, where it's going. It didn't need to be there, but it just needed to be there. All right, so we're back. I keep looking up here, but I can look here. I just realized this. So what's the point of all of this? So type, it can hold me steady. It can provide me structure. It can do the job that I need it to do. And type can also set me free. It can be something that it's just for me. And the bottom line is I just show up, even when it's hard. Fucking show up. You know what? Not every day, maybe not every day, but I do show up every day. Sometimes that doesn't mean I'm working that day, but I show up for myself. And that's me. And I never show pictures of myself smiling, but see, I'm trying new things. I'm being vulnerable. And that's it for me. So thank you.
Thank you, John. A very deep piece of mail. All right, so we have to have some questions. Oh, we got one way back there. Come on up. We're going to pass you the mic over here. If you can come around this way.
I love that you show a lot of like how you're feeling in your personal projects. Have you ever had one for a client that they let you take that creative element to their projects?
Yes. It is true that if you put stuff out there, that work that you want to be making, it will find a home somewhere. It's going to resonate with people. It might not be a lot of people, but it does resonate. And I do consistently do work that I'm excited about, and that they say, I trust you. I trust you to do it. And that to me is like, I'm going to do a much better job for them because we have that trusting relationship. So yeah, hell yeah.
All right here in front, Jake.
Hello. So clearly you were inspired by Shepard Fairey, right? Because I would say this reminds me of Obey, and it is badass. I personally love Shepard Fairey, but you put your own twist to it, and it's like everything that I enjoy is in here. For example, there are a few different things that you've done that actually have tattoos of. And it's so weird, because I was like, when you were speaking, I was like, why is he connecting with me so much right now? I literally have a tattoo that says, who will I be if I stay? And you have an art piece that like something that says, who will I be? Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's something that's just happened. All of a sudden you have two butterflies, which are symbolizes Mexican alebrijes, which is kind of like the highest. Butterflies are known as almost the highest version of spirit guides for my culture. And you put it in one of the most darkest pieces. To me, it is beautiful.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's all I was gonna say. I'm a huge fan, and I barely met you today.
Thank you. It's, I mean, that was definitely about transformation. Yeah. Really.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, I use a lot of symbolism, clearly, and I always have, like, it's always drawing, like, what can I put in here that is meaningful?
All right, I know we got more questions out there, back here.
To kind of flip the first question a little backwards, have you ever been working with clients as an independent where you don't really feel like you've resonated with artistically? And how do you continue to push past that and find motivation to fulfill the needs of the project?
Yesterday. Yesterday. And I turned out what I thought was really good work. internalize it is the important part, because it can either crush your soul, or you can go, you know, it wasn't a good fit. Maybe it wasn't work I wanted to be doing anyway. You know, it goes back to that relationship thing. People that see your work and raise their hand, yes, I'm on board for that. There are those people, and everybody else can kind of go, fuck, you know? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy to say that, and it's hard in the moment, and hell yes, it's hard in the moment. It's hard for me, but I have to give myself some grace and say, all right, next one. Anyone else?
Come on, we got all these college students. You're not a college student.
That's the famous Pete Jones right there.
Okay, Johnny. When you do a bunch of personal work like this, I never do personal work, but when you do it and then someone like me calls you up and says, John, I want to hire you to do this illustration, totally not this style. Does it feel like, do you feel more ready to tackle something because you've had this personal, something that is not your style because you've had this personal outlet, or do you feel like, dang it, I just want to do my style?
I feel motivated to do different things. I don't like doing the same thing, and I feel like, hey, if you give me a sample of it and it's something I can hit, I'm going to try and hit that target, because it's a challenge, you know what I mean? And if I do that, then I roll that style, that's part of my repertoire, and I put that into the next project, and everything just gets better. And then I put that on this, you know, like whatever I'm doing next. Yeah, I'm always learning.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, very good question. Yeah. Oh, yeah, what is Jeff? That's Jeff.
I like how you have the big emphasis on vector. Clearly, like you really like getting things like really clean and perfecting them in that way. Do you do any physical art, like analog stuff for the, yeah?
Yeah, so I haven't made them recently, but I do handmade mono silkscreen prints. Because I'm detail oriented, I do kind of rougher drawings, and then I cut them out of newsprint and I put those under a big screen and just use those as stencils, so you can't get a lot of detail, and it's a lot about the process of like dripping ink and the squeegee and stuff that you can make really cool stuff. So yeah, I do that. I've done, I do some painting, and yeah, that's about it. I painted those murals, but again, they're a little tighter. I don't know, I like graphic, I like that, you know, I like line work. I've tried to get away from it, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, I was curious if the painting on the wall was painted or okay.
Yeah, I just projected it out there. So those were drawings, ink drawings I was doing, and I just projected them on the wall and painted them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Good. We have another one? Oh, we got one. Oh, Casey, and then we got one back there, and then I think we're good. Yep. Okay, Casey.
Sorry, I'm still sort of formulating my thoughts here, but I did want to get it in.
Take your time.
Let's see. I know there's been a lot of talk about optimistic nihilism tonight, and you know, this idea of, you know, making design or making art just for yourself. And I know a lot of the people who are here tonight maybe struggle with the fact that something that you're so passionate about, art or design, what have you, you feel like you're forced to make that into your career. You turn your passions into something that has to be productive. And I know with these projects, you've obviously broken out of that to, you know, sort of take back that passion into something that doesn't necessarily have to be productive. It's just an expression of your life. I was just wondering, was there ever a tipping point that made you realize that you needed to do that? Or, yeah.
Without going into it, I had some challenges in my life, And I've realized through art, I mitigate stress and I process things in a way that keeps me moving forward and keeps me like focused on the things that are important to me. And it's a constant balance because you want to do good work and maybe you're tired from your job and there's all these other factors in there, and I think I just have this tenacity that's like I must, or I'm gonna, this is what I'm here to do, you know, it's not make fucking flyers for American Airlines. Who gives a shit? It's important, right? It's important to make money. It's always important, but I need it. So I do it, and I make the time for it. Thank you.
Have a good one. All right. Casey, that was a great question because I think all creatives end up having to deal with burnout at some point. So how you dealt with it was amazing.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm an aspiring UX UI designer, and I do not have a lot of experience with drawing or graphic design, but I was really inspired by your work and I think it's great. I was wondering if you have any advice or tips for someone who's not the best at drawing to kind of pursue the graphic design a little bit more?
I would say approach it in the way that seems right for you. Creative outlets are just that. They don't have to be productive, but skill building is never a bad thing. Just think of it in that way, like try it on. Try it on, you might not like it, but try something out. And, you know, okay, now I don't like that, that's fine, now on to the next thing. And that's really what I've done, like, hey, what about this? If I could do this kind of screen printing, then maybe I can make these much tighter posters and, you know, work on that. It's always just like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing that I can enjoy? I mean, if it's going on vacation, if it's tending your garden, maybe that's it. But if it's skill building, that's kind of where I live, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And then do you recommend a specific medium, like a certain software in Adobe or Sketchbook, charcoal?
Well, I'm very heavy into Adobe Illustrator. I really like Procreate because I get a wide variety of like brush potential there. There's tons of variability there. There's preloaded stuff that you can buy. I don't even mess around with that. I like the basics and then I tweak them. But again, I got COVID, so I learned how to mess around with it and it's built from there. But yeah, okay, great. And I can do all my organic drawing in that, export out the layers and build them here instead of drawing them straight in Illustrator. But yeah, I was messing around with Figma the other day and I'm like, I get it. I might not dig into it unless I have to, but I get it. I could do layout in this, you know? Makes sense. But all these things are just like extensions of something earlier, so just mess around with it, have fun. You know, take a little time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madeline. All right, we can give a big hand to John.
Yes, on the UI UX tip, I also want to chime in on that one. Remember, everything is basic shapes. Like even the shapes that are in the shape panel. Square, rectangle, circle, and lines. Just dumb it down to that. Start there, and then build up. All right. Let's win some prizes. Yeah! Hopefully. Yes. Okay, so look at that.
That's a lot of names, man.
That is nuts.
Wow.
That's why I brought some extra ammunition, because I have to give you something for coming out. This has been an amazing night, so thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. Oh my God, amazing. Okay, so we did not get the Martino floor books here, but whoever wins these, connect with me, give me your address, and we'll send them to you. And then we'll do the postcards and the other book right there. All right, so here we go.
So exciting.
Oh, it's even got the sound.
Oh, who's that?
Deanna here. Don't have to be here.
Gotta be here to win. And remove it.
This hurts my feelings. Whoa, that's not what I wanted.
Seems like kind of great.
Right?
Sarah.
Sarah?
Yeah. Nice. So connect with me and give me your address and I will send you your book. Awesome. All right, the second book. And we'll have more of these. This is going to be the first time for this, but come on. Corbin.
Oh, he just left.
Spin again. Haley. So many winners.
What are the chances?
Whoever wins next is the game.
And these books are amazing, by the way. Jolene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nicely done. All right, so let's do the hand lettering A to Z book, which we've given away before. A favorite. Peter. Yes.
There's Peter. Get that.
Right? And this is very underrated. This is these postcards. You can actually send them, but they have all these fonts on them. They're amazing. I'm going to get a whole bunch more of these because I want to give these away as well. So here we go. Grace. Yes. Okay, so let me put this back really quickly. There we go. I'm gonna go back that far. We will be back on February 26th, back here. So please save the date. If you enjoyed yourself tonight, please tell a friend, come back. We'd love to see you. Thank you for making this a very special night, our biggest night that we've had. So thank you so much. See you, drive safe, connect with people, make it happen. You're just on time.